Okay, the 2025 New York City Mayor's Race. This was, I feel, big time in the news last week, and currently we've got to talk about it. As you can see here, we've got four, I think, kind of big names, kind of big personalities, right? Curtis Silva is probably the least known, but Zohran Mamdani, hopefully I'm saying that right. Please comment if I'm not. Eric Adams, Andrew Cuomo, a lot of us know their names at least. Curtis Silva is kind of like a renegade, rebel, vigilante, kind of a cool story. Was part of the Guardian Angels in New York City, like committed to stopping crime and kind of borders on vigilantism. So that's extremely interesting. Andrew Cuomo, of course, the former governor of New York. A little bit of controversy associated with him. I think like some sexual harassment, sexual assault stuff. Additionally, he had some COVID things that I think people have looked back on, and it's been a little bit controversial. Eric Adams had some scandalous things overseas. I believe he's getting some money from Turkey. And Zohran Mamdani has been deemed a socialist. So it is quite the group here. It's quite tense, but that's kind of the state of American elections, unfortunately. We have a lot of name calling and opposite ends of the spectrum, right? So let's make a little bit of sense of this. As you can see, you got Eric Adams running as an independent. Mamdani got the Democratic nomination there with an alliance to working families. Progressive minor political party in the United States, as you can see, started in New York and chapters in a couple of liberal strongholds. Curtis Silva, the Republican nomination, and Andrew Cuomo is an independent candidate as well. If I had to classify, I would say Mamdani on the political spectrum, way to the left, right? Like way over here where my mouse is. Curtis Silva, probably more over here, way to the right. Eric Adams, I would say if the middle was here, is more slightly to the right. Andrew Cuomo, if the middle was here, slightly to the left. So that's kind of the breakdown of these two different independents. You got two different colors here. I don't really think this is like supposed to be a Green Party, but of course it looks green and could be associated with the Green Party, which we know is a lot about the environment and is a left-leaning entity. But Eric Adams is interesting because if you look at Eric, his profile here, Democratic from 2002 on. He was a Republican before that. Eric Adams has gotten some support from Donald Trump lately. As you can see here, look at this line. In February 2025, the Department of Justice in the Donald Trump administration instructed federal prosecutors to drop charges against Adams. That was a little bit because of, like, I think his issues with the Turkey involvement and some of those controversies there. Looks like he also has a sexual assault lawsuit, so that is apparently a theme here with our New York City mayoral candidates. But yeah, so he was definitely a left-leaning person, a Democrat, as you can see. But some of these zero-tolerance policies on homeless people, making himself an independent. He has called what Biden did with the migrant crisis like an atrocity. Right here, as you can see, in September 2024, a series of investigation in Adams' administration emerged. Adam was indicted on federal charges of bribery, fraud, and soliciting illegal foreign campaign donations. Again, I believe that was from Turkey. And he pleaded not guilty. And then he went on to allege that the charges were retaliation for opposing the Biden administration's handling of the migrant crisis. So as you can see, Adams was definitely left-leaning. He was a Democrat, but in recent years has kind of went towards Trump, has went away from the liberal and democratic values. And so, I mean, even tough on crime, some of this is going to be more right-leaning, okay? So Eric Adams is that end of the political spectrum. Andrew Cuomo, definitely more left-leaning, just not as left-leaning as Zohran. As you can see, legislation to legalize same-sex marriage and the recreational use of cannabis, definitely left-wing policy. So he's a Democrat. Got some old-school Democratic stuff, but it's probably a little bit more in the middle or middle-leaning. Again, you've got some controversy pages here, COVID-19 nursing home deaths, sexual harassment allegations, and a resignation from the governor of New York. But it was pretty shocking to see Cuomo not win because Mamdani is a little bit of a nobody, an assemblyman, and Andrew Cuomo was definitely very high profile and well-known nationwide, and especially in New York. So very interesting to see Mamdani go ahead and win that. He has a lot of policies, very aggressive in terms of left-leaning, big on social issues, Israel and Palestine, LGBTQ rights. He's Muslim descent. And as you can see here, a whole page here of getting attacked with some racist and Islamophobic slurs. So he's definitely someone that could probably rally the minorities in this country. He is a Bernie Sanders follower. Bernie Sanders endorsed him, so that's a very big backing. As we know, Bernie Sanders is extremely popular. But yeah, a lot of political positions that would borderline socialist. I think he wants like a $30 minimum wage. He's got some interesting, just very far left ideas, and I think that probably gave him a little bit of an edge up because he was talking about things other people weren't. Let's go ahead and look at some of these primary races. So first of all, Curtis Silva gets the nod. He ran uncontested. Could have maybe seen Eric Adams run with that Republican nomination. I think he probably didn't want to do that because he wanted to still keep some of his Democratic supporters from last time. And then as you can see here, Mamdani gets a big bulk of the votes. It really wasn't even close. Brad Lander put up a little bit of a fight, but Cuomo, losing the state here by 7% in the first round, and then the final round 12%. New York City does ranked choice voting, right? So people can have multiple choices. It can be a little bit confusing for voters. I think that it is so confusing, and so many people don't really know. So drop a comment down below if you'd like to see me do a video on how ranked choice voting works. I would love to do that for you guys. But yeah, Mamdani with a pretty authoritative win there, 12% margin of victory. And it's interesting because it's like, why do we care? Well, it's America's largest city, so it's very interesting, and I think it can show where the political leans are. And again, it's another test of ours to see, just like some of the Virginia and New Jersey government elections, which I will link videos down below. You can check those out on videos I did there. Very interesting. It's our first test, it's our first glimpse to see where the country is after the election of Trump in 2024. Are they pushing back against it? New York and New York City went to the right in that general election. Where are they now? Based off Mamdani's super far left policies, I think you're seeing a turn, an inverse relationship with what happened in 2024, where people are moving more to the left in New York City. That's what this data would indicate. If they elected Andrew Cuomo, I'd say that makes sense. That's kind of status quo. But getting Mamdani, and by this big amount, really makes me think that, hey, New York City is turning extremely far left. They really disagree with Trump and his policies. If they're going to go and vote for someone who's extremely far left and could even be deemed a socialist. So I think this is very important to give us insight on 2026 and 2028 when we get there. The American people have spoken. That's why this race really matters. So again, shocking to see that. Just a little quick article we can glance at here. Again, solidifies mayoral primary win after ranked choice vote count. That's why I waited to make this video, because it really wasn't official until today. What exactly happened? Again, appeared to easily win, 56 to 44. New York City started this 4 years ago, the ranked choice voting, and it didn't go super great. There was some controversy and some loud noise, but I think they did it better this time, and the voters were more informed. I think that's half the battle. Like, who am I voting for again? What counts? What doesn't? I'm ranking them third. What does that mean? So, again, I'm considering doing a video on that. Give me some feedback if you think I should, to explain that more clearly, what happens in ranked choice voting. But yeah, as you can see here, kind of an interesting point. It wasn't clear if Cuomo would pursue a serious general election campaign. A source said that the campaign will be continuing conversations with people from all across the city while determining next steps. So this picture here, we might not officially see Cuomo running. That's what that sounds like. That's interesting. Probably a big blow to his ego to not get that official nod, right? To lose out to Mamdani, who was kind of a nobody really 6 to 8 months ago. I mean, I follow politics pretty closely and wasn't super aware of him. I had heard him, but not in this case. The interesting part with this election right now is some of the conversation about Silva and Adams maybe teaming up. Again, if you broke down our political spectrum and you had in the middle here where my mouse is, to the right would be Curtis Silva and Eric Adams would be over here. Those two joining up. In fact, Silva was on a clip, I think it was Fox Business or Fox News, where he said about Eric Adams and him could potentially team together. He kind of made a little bit of a joke out of it. He's a little bit like that. He kind of says crazy things. It's sort of his personality. But I think that might be seriously what they do. try to combine that ticket and to get some strength. What's going to be interesting here, let's forget Cuomo for a second because I want to see like how serious that's going to be, especially with what we've read in the past article and heard from sources. But this trifecta, right, if they just ran, I wonder where Eric Adams is going to pull votes from, right? Is he going to spoil some Republican votes for Silwa? Is he going to spoil for Mamdani? Is the race really between these two? That's kind of my prediction. That's my philosophy. The race is between these two. And Silwa, maybe, would he pull some votes from Eric Adams? Would Cuomo pull some votes from Mamdani? Would he pull some votes from Eric Adams? Would Eric Adams pull some votes from Cuomo? And this is a super interesting foursome here to cover for this mayoral election, and I can't wait to do more videos on it. I'm excited to do more videos on it and see where polls are and what comes out. Something I wanted to make of note, back in 2021, this happened. As you can see, Silwa got destroyed by Eric Adams. And so this is interesting because I think familiar foes, I think incumbents in these smaller races, now again, big race, New York City mayor, but typically you're going to see that in smaller elections, which a mayoral election, I'm sorry, but it is smaller. It's not like a senator or even House representative. But you're going to see incumbents get a lot of bias. Incumbents get a lot of liberties. Incumbents get higher polls and a higher chance of winning because there's that familiarity. So I wonder what that's going to play into for Eric Adams, how many votes he can garner, how many votes he can get. This is a big number. This is a monster number. How far down does he get from that if he's running against Silwa, Cuomo, and Zoran? So that'll be interesting to see. Silwa got a decent amount of votes here, so we'll see how much he can get this time. As you can see, the poll is going to get a little bit bigger. It's going to pull the numbers in all different types of directions, so we'll have to see how that plays out. One interesting note I wanted to look at. So here's the 2021 New York City Democratic mayoral primary, right? Andrew Yang ran. Kind of forgot about that, but that's interesting. Surprised he didn't get more attention or votes. But let's check this out. In the final round, 404,000 votes. Check the results down here. 404,000 votes to 397,000 votes with Catherine Garcia in round 8 because these people get eliminated through ranked choice voting. Remember that number, 404,000. Mamdani at the end, 545,000. Now, it looks to be there's just more votes. 1 million total reported. Let's see if we can get a total here. Total votes, looks like 800. Total votes, 942,000. So more people voted. But that's a big number. That is a big number for Mamdani. Let's do the math on this. So 940, I'm just going to do the math on the phone here. 942,031, okay. And I've got, I just want to break down and see if this percentage is good. So 404,513 divided by 942,031 is 43% of the vote. So remember that Eric Adams got 43% of the vote in 2021. Let's see what Mamdani is, because sometimes you can't just look at totals, you gotta look at percentages. So he got, if I'm reading this correctly, 545,334 divided by 1.26783, 53%. So yeah, significant. It looks significant just with the naked eye, but had to do a little bit of math. 10% more of the total vote than Eric Adams got in 2021. So that is shocking. That is a big amount. And that's what's leading me to say, again, predictions could change, but I think my prediction is that unless Eric Adams, Silwa team up, and if Cuomo literally does stay in the race, because that would hurt Mamdani's numbers as well, Mamdani's probably going to win this election. People have made the joke that the Democratic primary race was the race because New York City is so liberal. That's interesting. That makes a lot of sense. That's probably true. So Mamdani being able to win it probably all but guarantees he'll be able to win the election. Let's end the video by seeing what the experts say. And when I say experts, I mean referring to Polymarket and the betting markets. And not a surprise. Mamdani with overwhelming results here and chance to win. Curtis Silwa way down at 1%. So he's starting to become kind of like an unserious candidate. I mean, it's cool with the Guardian Angels and everything like that. He's a cool New York City accent. He seems like a cool guy, but I don't think he's a serious candidate. Eric Adams, way down as well, not getting that incumbent boost at all. Mamdani it's kind of his to lose. So I think you could maybe see, like, even if you combine these numbers, 18 plus 1, that's only 19. And if you took away, well, I guess you wouldn't take away, but the 8% for Cuomo, I mean, it's just going to be tough for Mamdani to lose this race. Again, we'll monitor, we'll look at polls, we'll pay attention to poly market, but that is the first prediction of the first look of the New York City mayoral election. Let me know what you guys think below. If anyone's in New York, if anyone's in New York City, if you're in the Bronx, Queens, if you're on boots on the ground, let us know what you're hearing. Let us know what you're seeing. Would love to hear it. Has this race already been decided? That's what some people seem to think. I'm not quite so sure. I want to see the actual breakdown. And November 2nd or November 4th? November 4th. I want to see what the actual voting options are. I'm assuming that they're going to do ranked choice voting again. Yeah, I'm assuming that if they did that in the primaries. So we'll check that out. If they're doing ranked choice voting, that does get really interesting with all these 4 different parties. Let's just see. If not, I can research for later. I'll research later. If anyone can look, see if they're going to be doing ranked choice voting for this mayoral race here, and comment it below. The next video I do, I'll definitely address that. But that'll be really interesting to see what exactly happens there. So yeah, comment below, like, subscribe if you enjoy these videos. I'll link below some of my very current elections that just happened in Virginia and New Jersey, and we're going to cover for coming up in November. Thank you all for watching.